the Green Party of Canada. Finally, we have Elizabeth May. Environmentalist, writer, activist, lawyer, and a member of the Order of Canada. Since March 2006, she's been the leader of the Green Party of Canada.
Thanks. It's almost a year now. I've been leading the Green Party since August 2006. It's almost coming up to my first year anniversary. So, first of all, je suis très heureuse d'être ici aujourd'hui avec tout le monde qui sont les militants contre la globalisation et le PSP. Je suis très fière d'être ici avec tout le monde. I want to thank the organizers for doing this. I've listed everyone, but I know the clock runs. I want to make sure you know that although I'm here and very happy that the Council of Canadians has included all those parties that receive federal funding. There's other good work done by other parties that aren't receiving federal funding. But I do want to also say that I'm here with critics, and I'm the only leader of a federal political party here on the podium. But my trade critic is here today, and I just wanted you to know that Janet Eaton is doing tremendous work, and you can check the Green Party website for the work we're doing on Security and Prosperity Partnership, and announce that tomorrow, and I apologize, we planned this session when there was nothing else in opposition to the timing we picked. We will be at St. Paul University tomorrow with a free teach-in involving some of our colleagues from the U.S. Green Party, the Canadian Green Party, looking at the Security Prosperity Partnership from, it's an open session, it's free, St. Paul University on Main Street in the main auditorium, so I hope you can join us there. The critique on this has been touched on by others. I just want to mention one thing about it. I was very moved and grateful to hear the joint statement of les syndicats, les travailleurs d'énergie de tous les trois pays. I think it was a wonderful statement, and I want to thank the CEP that's always shown such leadership on this issue, the steelworkers, the CLC. This is really important that we stand together with the trade union movement, which is so much under assault in this current agenda. It's not part of what I prepared, so I'll be brief about it. But some of you may know I'm running against Peter MacKay in Central Nova. He's our Minister of Defense. Recently, we lost a lot of good jobs for Canadian steelworkers in my riding. In Trenton, where they made rail cars for decades, they've made rail cars in Trenton, Nova Scotia. The jobs have been, the plant's been owned by a U.S. manufacturer, Greenbrier of Oregon. They've decided, even though they were profitable, to shut down and turn those unionized Canadian jobs into non-unionized Mexican jobs. We're losing the workforce, and Peter MacKay spoke to the Chamber of Commerce of Pictou County recently and said, don't worry, we're going to be the next Fort McMurray here in Pictou County because we're going to be a NAFTA super corridor. We're going to be part of the super highway that brings, as you've heard from Maud, the imported goods from around the world that will speed by us on the highways, along with the natural gas that speeds by us on its way to the United States and so on. So the focus on local sustainability, on local jobs, on good union jobs, and on paying attention to that which is sustainable and Canadian and reflects our sovereignty and our values is central, and we must not lose it. If we really were serious about security and prosperity, we've been critiquing this thing called the SPP. It does not embrace either true security or true prosperity. True security is secured through civil liberties. No personal security can exist when people can be snatched in transit and sent abroad for torture. Cannot be secured unless we address the single greatest threat to our security, and that lies not with loose networks of terrorist extremists. The greatest threat to our security and our children's future is the climate crisis, which Bush and Harper are doing everything to advance. They are advancing global warming in heedless disregard for our future. And when they talk about Arctic sovereignty, who are they kidding? The Arctic is melting because of their callous disregard for the future of this planet. Arctic sovereignty for Canada means paying attention to the climate crisis, reducing greenhouse gases. True security also requires nuclear disarmament. There is no security. Prosperity is not about an economic system that embraces private greed above the common good. We see markets crashing and shaking, and why? Because they didn't know how to contain their greed with things that dreamt up like subprime interest rates and hedge funds and bond traders who were in bed with the people they were marketing. Why don't we insist on true prosperity, which means we eliminate poverty? There is no following things, and we will fight for these things. Stop the SPP talks. Give 6 months notice to get out of NAFTA and renegotiate our trade agreement. We assert Canadian sovereignty by banning bulk water exports through appropriate federal legislation with LSP Canadian sovereignty by meeting our Kyoto commitments, by putting a moratorium on tar sands expansion. We must reject any investor-state provisions, whether in Chapter 11 of NAFTA or in any future MAI or in the bilateral trade agreements. And we must ban those pesticides that pose an unacceptable risk to health and the environment, those carcinogens in all of our household products that are currently being protected by Chapter 11, and we must ensure that pesticide residue limits are not lessened as a result of the SPP. In closing, I'm going to call on my colleagues in the opposition parties that do have seats in the House of Commons. I'm going to call on you right now. Il faut agir d'arrêter l'agenda du PSP. Le Parti vert exige que les autres partis de l'opposition agissent de vaincre le gouvernement de M. Stephen Harper. I call on the opposition parties to put forward a non-confidence motion and stop this minority